What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Platinum Podcast. Welcome to episode 14 of the Platinum Podcast, where we talk about all things gaming, all things PlayStation, and all things trophies. We've been on a 4-week hiatus. We've missed just one episode, and it feels like a lifetime. I am joined today, as always, with my good friend Joel, aka GuyFarruski on YouTube. How you doing, Joel? Welcome back. Good to see you.
It's good to see you. It's been a while. I don't know why I'm rubbing my chair. Like, this is the same chair I use every time. It's good to be back. How are you?
So excited. I'm good, matey. We actually haven't spoke, guys, since our last podcast. We text each other quite a lot, but we haven't actually spoken in person, video call form in 4 weeks. So it's the first of 2021 as well. It's just good. I'm just happy to see your handsome face, mate. What can I say?
same, dude. It has been a while. I felt it.
Deep in the feels.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so we've got quite a jam-packed episode. We're going to talk through as much as we can. So we hope, as always, that you're maybe chilling, maybe listening to this while you're playing a game, grinding out some trophies. And we're going to talk about, firstly, we're going to start and talk about what we always talk about, which is games we've been playing. Now, Joel, I haven't spoken to you in 4 weeks, so it's not only what games have you been playing in the past 2 weeks, it's what have you been playing over the Christmas period?
Yes, I have. I've had quite a bit of time off, so I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, which is hands down the worst game I've ever played. I'm only joking. It's like the best thing I've ever played, honestly. It's so good. Like, anybody who hasn't played it yet, get it played. It just captures everything Japanese culture perfectly. Like, even movements in the combat is just so... It's perfect. It's a perfect samurai / ninja game, whatever gameplay you wanna go with. Now, I've got my notes here in case I don't forget anything.
How many hours are you into that game now, then?
I'd say about maybe 15 hours. But it's probably I've not done much in the game because obviously I'm doing the guide for it. So there's a lot of times that I'm just like idle, just like doing my notes and everything. But so far, what I've played is it's oh my god, it's incredible. It is really good.
So what you're thinking so far? How long are you thinking the plat's going to be?
Until I play it. Hopefully by the end of the month, if everything goes to plan. Like, it's just the videos are taking like a lot of space on my PC, so I have to just edit a lot out now and then carry on. But hopefully by the end of the month, I'll have it platinumed.
Well, remember we said we're going to play a DLC together.
Yes, we are. I'll let you know.
I get it. I get it. My plan is this. A complicated plan is to, when I buy my PS5, I'm going to sell my PS4 Pro. I'm going to use that money to buy Ghost of Tsushima, Demon's Souls, and something else. Okay. So I will then play Ghost of Tsushima, and we can DLC it up, grind out those online trophies.
Yes, dude, I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Good. We can capture it. We might let the viewer in on the experience.
Yeah, we can. We can. It's a date.
It is. What
other game
is? Yes.
Go on. No, go on. I want to see the love. Give me the love.
Doing a heart. Just doing like a heart to you.
Give me. The other game I've been playing is Unravel 2. I've actually been playing this with my partner, which is really good. If you guys have like partners that don't like playing games, Unravel is a pretty fun one to play. It's not too expensive. I think I paid like £5 for it. It was on sale at the time. It's really good. It's an interesting game. It's like a little platformer, but it's cute. It's cute. I've not delved too much into it, but it's pretty cool.
Have you played Overcooked before yet?
No.
That's a really good co-op game as well for someone who's not, to play alongside someone who isn't a gamer. Like, I played with my partner during lockdown, played 1 and 2. She loved it. Okay. It's just so much fun. It can be a bit intense. It's a little bit difficult at times.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I'm scared. I'm scared of like shouting at her because you're not doing that fast enough. We've got to get this platinum.
I lost my cool. Sometimes I can be really blunt. That is one of my flaws. I can be really blunt and just say things like in the heat of the moment, like, we've done that wrong. Why you done that? Like, really firmly, and it's just like, it's a bit like, all right, it's a game, and I'm like, yeah, it is a game. I should have said that. But in the whole, the experience is pretty good. Now you said that, I might actually tell my missus to maybe we could take part in a little unraveling too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a cute little game. And then the final one has been Devil May Cry 5. I've made some progress on it.
Is the platinum going to be obtainable for you, do you think?
I hope so. I hope so. We'll carry on like later on as the episode progresses.
Okay. He's got more to say on that. No spoilers yet. Just
no spoilers. But I have been playing it. Have been playing it again. It's frustrating. It's very hard. It's a lot harder than what I remember.
I don't think I could do it. I've watched speedruns of this game on like hardest difficulty, and I'm just like watching it in absolute amazement at the skill. The thing is, people make it look so easy as well, though. It's not like, you know, the combat. Like, it's got to be really free flowing and continuous of the flow of the combat. But you look at it, you just think the guy sitting there just like
just casually.
You know, like, the thing is, it's probably taken him 100 hours to get to that point, if not more.
But what makes it harder is, like, it's not just the one character you play with. You play with 3 different characters with 3 completely different play styles. And I think that's what's starting to get to me, is that you get used to like playing with one character, and then when you get to the next mission, it's someone else. And you kind of like...
Can you not just play... Is a level select? Can you not just do all of Nero's levels, and all of Dante's levels, and all of these levels?
You can, but whilst you're doing the story, you can't. Like, you have to complete all the missions in that difficulty in order to do that. So
I have actually heard, I don't know if this is true, because I've just read it in a forum, that V is the best character to use in terms of easiness. So like, you can pretty much do the hardest difficulty with V a lot easier than you can with Dante and Nero.
I'd probably say yeah. I'd probably say yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what I've been playing. I haven't been playing loads, to be honest. I've played a few games, and what I have played, which I will talk about a little bit later, is I've platinum Crash Bandicoot Warped, which was a good experience. I'll talk about it a little bit later on in one of the next sections. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, personally.
Okay.
I did enjoy most of it, but I'll talk about that later on. I just started playing Destroy All Humans, and it is such a blast from the past. It is a remastered game that, like, to me, games in the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 genre, they deserve remastering. Like, I don't really want to see a PS3 game really get remastered, because they don't do big changes, really. I mean, PS5 to PS3 to PS5 is a bit different, but, you know, PS3 to PS4 is a bit like, well, is there a point?
Yeah.
Destroy Humans is a really good remastering. It is funny, it is fun to play, it's just so satire, it just takes the piss out of pretty much everything to do with America, which is just that is my forte. I just love to see people take the mick out of America. I like people take the mick out of the UK as well. I'm all for that as well, but we're just as much of a laughing stock. But fun gameplay, it's just a load of fun and quite an easy platinum, like a 15-hour plat. Like, I played it for 4 hours yesterday, and I got like 17 trophies out of 40. I was just like, wow.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's really good fun. It's like, I think I paid £15 for it, £16. For those who are looking for like a really fun little short story, I'd recommend it. It is very amusing, I would say. And then from there, played a few grubby plats, obviously, you know.
Has to be done.
Had to be done. in my defence is this. I do get codes for them now. I can apply for codes, so I don't have to pay for them, as long as I talk about them in some video in some way, shape or form. So the financial burden isn't there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that puts me off a lot of the time. So like, I used to, like, maybe last year I was playing like, well, maybe late 2019, I might have been spending like £60 a month on them, which is insane.
On
like
grubby
12
games?
Plats. Yeah, like 10 to 12 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, I would do like a 3-month period, I know. Whereas now I'm paying nothing, and I'm playing like 3 or 4 a month. So I feel like I've achieved balance.
Yeah.
You know, like the yin and yang has been achieved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then...
That's crazy.
I
gotta get that rank up.
The thing is, though, honestly, that's how much people are paying. People who are on the top 100 leaderboards, they're paying double that a month. Easy.
It's insane.
You know, like, people are playing, like... And I get codes because of YouTube. You can't... Like, I don't know if the other trophy hunters get codes or not, but... Like, I didn't get them as well until I started to get a bit bigger, and I feel like there'll be people out there who are just spending something like £100 to £200 a month on easy games. It's just you do what you enjoy.
Yeah, but the time as well. Like, surely these people can't work full-time jobs, surely. Or they don't sleep.
Well, I feel like you only need to really commit something like 10 hours a week to get 10 to 12 easy platinums. So at the same time, you probably could. It's when you're playing other games, like really long games and stuff. Like, I've seen people, like, sometimes just randomly go to the leaderboards and you see someone like finishes Spider-Man in like 2 days, and you're thinking it's a 40-hour platinum and you finished it in 2 days.
Yeah, it's a bit.
We just play this non-stop. But no, let's not judge other people too much. No. We have other videos to do that. And my final game is Tales from the Borderlands. It's been on my list. I bought a package.
Yes.
a Telltale's package in 2017 for £25. It had Telltale's, Game of Thrones, both Batman, Guardians, and all the Walking Dead games. So it was a really good bargain.
That's
I think it was 8 games for £25. And I just thought, basically, I looked through my storage on my PlayStation 4 to transfer to PS5. So guys, for those who don't know, you can't store PS5 games on external hard drives, and it's to do with the way the games are like read. So when you get a PS5, you can only store PS5 games on your actual console. So you basically have to store all your PS4 games on your external hard drives. And a good way to transfer from PS4 to PS5, there's pretty much 2 ways you can do it. You can do it, have your PS4 on and your PS5 on, and you do like this like transfer system where it transfers everything across through Wi-Fi. It would take hours because I have like 2 terabytes of games. Or if you ship everything on your current hard drive, you can just plug it into the PS5 and it's good to go. So on that, I've basically been going through all my games and basically saying, okay, this game's got a lot of gigabytes, I'm going to have to play this, because I've pretty much got about 2.4 terabytes worth of memory on my PS4 being used. And obviously you can only transfer 2 terabytes over. So I've been going through all my games that are like over 20 gigs and just playing them pretty much as my short-term goal until I get a PS5. But I'm not getting a PS5 until 2025 anyway, so it's still redundant.
Yeah, to be fair. I mean, I'm a bit shocked that you can't have an external drive for PS5. That's crazy.
No, you can. You can't play PS5 games.
Oh, I see.
So you can't store PS5 games onto your PS4 external hard drive. So when you get your PS5, it'll have 800 gigs of memory, which bear in mind Call of Duty is 200 gigs.
Yeah.
And you have to just delete your games. It's to do with the SSD, because the way it memorizes and the way it runs games so quickly that external terabytes at the moment, hard drives don't run the equivalent SSD or something.
Right.
So Sony are working on getting an external hard drive that will be able to have that level of like software, I guess. I clearly know lots about this, and but it'll cost a lot because it'll probably cost like over £200 for like a terabyte of SSD.
Yeah, it will.
Equivalent hard drive. So is it worth it? Probably, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, time will tell when we get the PS5, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we've waffled for 12 minutes. Classic bands.
We have to.
We're now going to talk about. We have. So, our first topic, which you would have seen by the title, is we're going to reflect on 2020. You know, it's the first podcast of 2021. Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Joel.
Happy New Year to you.
I hope all your wishes come true. That's what people say, right? I think I'm getting these confused. I'm thinking of the Tooth Fairy, am I? Maybe. Who knows? But anyway, so reflecting on 2020, we thought what we'll do is we'll talk about our worst Platinum Trophy that we played in 2020. So this isn't a game that came out in 2020. No, it's just a game that we played. As trophy hunters, you often find you're behind the times in terms of new releases because it takes you double the amount of time to finish every game. So on that, Joel, we had a little bit of reflect over this week to talk about the games that we think are probably the worst games we've played.
Yeah.
And Joel, I'll let you ease us in nice and slowly.
I'd say the worst game I probably platinumed was probably not because the game was bad, just because of how grindy it was and how sort of tedious it was. It was probably Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance.
Oh.
And it was just because like the grind was, you just have to grind a lot in that game. It's like the system is kind of like Pokemon. You have like these little animals that you can catch and sort of fight with them, but then you have to level them up in order to get like certain skills. And of course, one of the trophies is to have all the skills in the game. So you have to kind of, you have to grind. You have to grind a lot.
Where does that game fit into the Kingdom Hearts ethos? Or the ether?
That is between 2 and 3. So it's like a little section between 2 and 3. To be honest, it probably doesn't, fit. It's probably not essential for the canon. I think they just kind of release it to be like, hey, some more. This
is the thing with Kingdom Hearts. It's just they made this like 1 hour long recap for new players, and it's just I felt like the barrier to entry to Kingdom Hearts 3 was just too much.
Oh no, an hour is nowhere near enough.
Yeah, and I felt like I can't. Like I picked up Final Fantasy 15, okay, first Final Fantasy game I've ever played. Yeah, I know, shame. And I felt like a lot of it was missing to start with, but I just did a quick Google, 10 minutes, I knew pretty much was up to speed with what was going on, and the story didn't need to know what was going on because every Final Fantasy game is their own story.
Yeah.
However, with Kingdom Hearts, I felt like it was an extreme continuation, and I just felt like I was like, I don't have time to play two 100-hour games.
It's just the even people who play the games, it's the order they came out in. Like, so the first Kingdom Hearts excuse me, the first Kingdom Hearts that came out was Kingdom Hearts 1. And then I think they released Kingdom Hearts 2, if I'm not mistaken. And then they released Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, which is set before Kingdom Hearts 1. And then they've released Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which is then set between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And then they released this Dream Drop Distance. And then there's I think there's other little side games as well, I'm not entirely sure. But then they released this Dream Drop Distance, which is between 2 and 3, and then they released 3. And now they've released this, this music one, which I think is again between 2 and 3. It's just a mess. It's just all over the place.
It is an intellectual minefield.
It's like... I'm just thinking of that meme of Always Sunny in Philadelphia of Charlie with all the little, post-its on the wall, and it's basically that's it.
Who is Pepe Sylvia? Who is Pepe Sylvia?
Pepe Sylvia. This name keeps coming up over and over again. Every day, Pepe's mail's getting sent back to me. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I look in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely mental. I think somebody, and this probably is out there, but somebody should make a video of the whole timeline. It will probably be 2-3 hours long, to be fair, to have absolutely every single detail. But the people who are starting in Kingdom Hearts 3, it's a hell of a journey.
Yeah.
Even me, I've played all the Kingdom Hearts except for 3, and I'm still there's still bits of the story that I'm thinking, why and
why
how?
You do this?
Yeah. And then the other one is probably, I wouldn't say the worst. I would probably just say because of the journey to get the platinum, it's imprinted in me forever, and it's Persona 5. We all know that journey. So yes, I think that's just the tediousness and the pressure, I think.
3 weeks of waking up every night in cold sweat.
Yeah. It's not done yet.
One more Persona. Get one more Persona. 2 more days.
Yeah, I think those are my choices. What about you?
Before on that, I just want to say I'm gonna play Persona 5 at some point. And I'm probably gonna play Royal. Okay. However, I'm annoyed because the platinum trophy for Persona 5 is 30% rare, whereas the Persona 5 Royale is almost an ultra rare.
Yeah.
And although, because Persona 5, as what I've read, Persona 5 is such a harder trophy list than Royal. Royal being you don't need to. I think you don't need to collect all the personas. I don't think.
Okay.
So it's so much more streamlined. But I'm I want to get the hard one though. But also Persona 5 has a lot more content, has 20 hours more content, so it's a full story. So I'm going to play Royal, but I feel it'd be 150 hours to get an uncommon trophy.
I think with Royal as well, you only have to do one playthrough, which makes it a little bit less tedious. Whilst in Persona 5, you have to do at least a playthrough and a bit, unless you really, really, really prepare and research. And I think you can get it done, with one. Jesus, with one playthrough and a little bit. Can you tell I'm not used to speaking this much? These 4 weeks. So
yeah, I agree. I've got two beverages to help me through these hard times of talking for such a long period of time.
Jesus.
Okay, we'll talk about what my worst games are. Before I talk, I just want to say that I actually got this idea by watching Plat Chats, so props to them. They basically spoke about this in one of their videos, so we've had them on guests, awesome guys, so go check that stuff out anyway. But I talk about these games a lot, so I don't talk about them too much. So, my first worst Platinum Trophy experience is one of the worst I've ever had, and it was a game that came out last year. And it was Avengers. So, Avengers was such a grind. Not only it was the first game I've had which had glitch trophies, so you would achieve things and they wouldn't pop. That was disgraceful. It was such a sucker punch to the gut. You would grind you had to play levels 50 times over and then the trophies weren't popping. So that was really, really annoying. And it was you're just doing the same dungeons over and over again essentially, and the dungeons were 25 minutes long. And you had to do 50 of them. You work it out, it's about 25 hours of doing the same thing over and over again for them not to work. So you had to do it again. So basically you've got a really grindy list, and then not only is it really grindy, half of them don't pop. It only took me about 90 hours I think to get the platinum, which doesn't sound for example, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that was about 100 hours to do, but I enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot more. And Avengers was just a repetitive garbage, and I'm so glad it tanked. It's a shame because I generally don't think Spider-Man will be coming in March. I just can't see them supporting it long enough.
I think
there was supposed to be Hawkeye was supposed to be out now. It's only been Kate Bishop. She's the only playable character they've announced, when there's meant to be a lot more by this point. We're in January now, guys. This game came out in like September. They promised us, I think it was 3 DLC by this point, and we've received 1. It just shows that once they've got your pre-orders, they just don't care. Once a game comes out, they just refuse to support it. If a game does poorly, doesn't matter whatever they promised you, you will not get it. So not only did we get an empty game, we got lies from a big company. Square Enix have really tarnished their reputation, in my opinion, with this game. And yeah, it sucked in every aspect of the game. Pretty much sucked.
I think lately, companies that we don't expect to do things, they're doing things that we don't expect them to do. It's crazy.
Who could you be referring to about this, Joe?
Just, keep watching. Just
an observation as to just the general political, economic standpoints of gaming.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like you think the hand is going to feed you a nice piece of apple pie, and really it's just slap you in the face.
Yeah.
The next game is a game. I'm going back in time now. I'm going back to like March. Basically, no, it was like maybe May, early days of the podcast. My channel's grown so much since then. I forgot about this quite a lot, and it in fact is Resident Evil 6.
Yes.
Now that game, the Platinum Trophy's not hard. So just to clarify, it's a 30-40 hour Platinum Trophy. What's difficult is the online. So firstly, the game is just terrible. It is just an absolute disgrace to the Resident Evil franchise. The only good thing in it is Chris and Leon, but even then, Chris is just a walking meme at this point. And I love him for it, but he didn't do any justice to his character, to the franchise, just because it's funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what Capcom are thinking with this game. Honestly, it's just absolute shambles. Like Resident Evil 2 and 3 have come out, Resident Evil 7, and they've shown that it's an amazing franchise, but also then you think to Resident Evil 6 and you think, like, how can something fall so much?
I wonder if they're going to redeem Chris with Village now. Because we all know that he's in it now. So I wonder if they're going to redeem his character, or if they're just going to kind of go with it, but with like a more serious twist. Like in the trailer, he didn't seem to have his guns have seemed to like deteriorate a little bit. He doesn't have
25-inch biceps,
huge biceps. He looks normal at least.
Yeah.
So there's an improvement there.
Yeah, he's come off the steroids. He had to come off them for his because of the alcohol addiction, which he had in Resident Evil 6. That's like how you make. Apparently, that's how you make a character really deep. You just make them this really standard patriotic Captain America style character. But you just make them a bit alcoholic and a bit sexist, and that's that character development. That was Chris's character development in Resident Evil 6.
Amen.
And then it's just like the whole thing where it's like Jake. Oh mate, it's just I'm thinking about it like. One of the characters is Wesker's son, called Jake. Spoilers. And then he's never even met his father, Wesker, and then all of a sudden he just decides that he wants to avenge him. And it's like, you never met him, you know who he is, you know he's a bad guy, and then he just like has a gun at Chris's head, and Chris is like, yeah, I killed your dad, do what you need to do, and he's like, surprisingly, I'm not going to shoot you because I've never met my dad and I know he's a bad guy. Walks away. The Chris is like, fair, let's go. It's just like, what on earth is that? How is that a story, man? It's just... But anyway, the online trophies are where it's at. So there's nobody playing online. There's like 5 people online at any one time, and you have to boost hours. I think I boosted for about 30 hours with this one guy. Me and this guy, it was just like this like shared pain. We'd like meet up, run at each other, take turns killing each other.
What a legend!
For like 50 hours. It was grim. Oh man, I'm such a maniac. I don't know why I even did that. That's like when the trophy hunter comes out on you. Yeah. I think I learned a lot from that game and from Avengers as well. That like I don't want to play those type of games anymore. I don't want to play like just endless grinds or endless online boosts. It's just not my style.
No, I agree. I had that with I think Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 2. I think there was. It's like a title. You have to get. It's a trophy for titles, and one of the titles was to I think it's like win 200 matches or something online. And I had nowhere near the skill level needed to do that. Like, there's people online who,
still play it now.
They're just incredible. And yeah, me and this other guy as well, we boosted like that as well. Like, we take turns, or we do like 10 matches where I, beat him, and then he'd do 10 matches where he beat me, and it's just so it's shameful. It's shameful to say the least, but you have to get that platinum. It's
you got to,
and in your case, it wasn't even the platinum. In your case, it was just that 100% completion.
Yeah, I need that. I need 100%. Can't deal. I couldn't deal without that 100%. Just looking at me in the face. I have games that I looked on my list. I'm like, every day. That's why I went back to Crash Bandicoot. But we'll move on. So I think we spoke about those. Let's talk about... I have done a video on this, guys, but I want to get Joel's opinion. So we're going to talk about our Platinum Trophy hunting goals, our gaming goals generally for 2021. I have done a 20-minute video on this, so I will not dilly-dally on mine too much, and maybe it might expand on mine a little bit. But I give Joel the opportunity to think about this. So Joel, what are your goals for 2021 as a trophy hunter?
I've got like two like sort of sections. I've got like the easy section, which is not probably achievable. It's definitely going to happen. And then I've got like the hard, which the hard one I'm probably going to say it's like a 2-3 year plan maybe.
Okay.
So the easy ones first. The easy ones, I want to platinum Jedi Fallen Order, which has been sat on my PlayStation installed for like over a year now.
Great game.
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot as well. Again, been installed for over a year. And Ghost of Tsushima. Those are the three that will be platinumed in 2021. Obviously, there's going to be like games that are coming out that I want to platinum as well, like Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and Demon Souls, but they're probably achievable as well. Then I've got like the hard tier. Now the hard tier, I want to platinum Devil May Cry 5 and Hollow Knight.
Oh.
Both of those games I want to platinum. So this is why I'm saying it's like maybe a 2-3 year plan, depending on how much rage I have, how many controllers I break, and the time.
See, I was thinking when you said those easy goals, I thought, well, that's achievable in probably 3 months. But now you said Devil May Cry 5, Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some goals.
Yeah.
So Devil May Cry is probably in the top 5 hardest platinum trophies on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
It's really impressive to have. So, for those who don't know, what you have to do is you have to basically play the game on the hardest difficulty without being hit. So it allows you basically the game on the hardest difficulty, but if you get hit once, you die. Pretty savage, as hard as it makes Wolfenstein's... Is it Wolfenstein 2's trophy list, which is still really hard. It's almost as hard as that.
From what people were saying, though, like the hardest difficulty isn't the hardest thing, because you can... on the hardest difficulty, the enemies aren't as hard as they can be in the game. So the difficulty that makes it's just that you can only get 3 hits actually, but to S rank essentially I think you can only get like hit once if you have like a high enough skill score. Mm-hmm. But the hardest difficulty I think is the difficulty after hard, which is Dante Must Die, and in that difficulty that's when the enemies are as powerful as they can be. They've got like I think it's like 400% more health, 400% more like attack power. They have like new moves. They have like it's really insane. And again, with in the hardest difficulty, it's like you can kind of cheese it a little bit in a lot of areas because you can sort of keep your distance and just shoot. You have like overpowered bullets. But then in Dante Must Die, it's a little bit different because they have more health. So the bullets you're going to be there like an eternity. So you have to really get your skill level up. But still. Also, I've heard from some people that the PS5 version, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, is even harder than Devil May Cry 5.
How so?
I think they added because there's a DLC on Devil May Cry 5 which is Bloody Palace.
Yeah, for the palaces, yeah.
And I think they've implemented that into the normal list with the Special Edition.
Hold on, you aren't going to do the Bloody Palaces on the Devil May Cry 5?
No.
Dude.
You know me, I don't do the 100%. I do the requirements DLC. For the platinum, that's it.
Isn't there a way as well to spend money to benefit you? Like, can't you buy like 10 million red orbs or something with real money, which makes the game easier?
No, that's only for... There's like 3 trophies that are very grindy, which is you have to get all the skills for all the characters, and there's like 1 skill for each of the character it's like 3 million orbs. So you have to essentially get 9 million orbs, and that's to like sort of put that down. I don't think you can really make the game any easier by paying. Okay. It's just for those 3 trophies for the skills.
There's about 25 levels, isn't there?
21.
So how have you done any on the hardest difficulty yet?
I've done 2. I've done 2.
Okay. So you're sure that's suggesting that you could do it?
Kind of. Like the third one where I got my real first boss, I got wrecked. So
what's your plan then? What is actually your plan for doing this?
First of all, I'm going to try and complete the hardest difficulty. So essentially I've got 5 trophies for the platinum, which is the 3 skills to get, which I'll just farm after I do all the other ones. Yeah. And then it's complete the game on the hardest difficulty and do the S ranks on all difficulties. and my plan is to finish the hardest difficulty normally, like however I can, and then after I've unlocked all the missions, I'll choose a character, and then I'll do hardest difficulty, S rank, and then I'll work my way down on that mission with that character. I'll clear all the missions with a character at a time, and that way I'll learn how to play with one character, master that character, and just clear everything with that character, and then move on to the next one, clear everything with that one.
Are all difficulties available from the start, or do you have to unlock them by playing it through at once?
You have to unlock them by playing through them once.
Right, okay.
So I've already done the game on 1, 2, 3, I think 5 difficulties.
Is there 7 overall, or 6?
6, I think. So there's
because I'll be inclined to sort of do like an all on easy, medium, hard, normal. Just do all level 1, all, and then level 2, all, level 3, all.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to start with the hardest one, because if I can S rank on the hardest difficulty, I'll most probably be able to S rank the other ones, because it's going to be easier.
But then are you not, like, if you do it on easier difficulties, are you not learning the movement patterns more, learning the level design more, so then by the time you, like, build up, rather than start paying through on the hardest difficulty, you could build up every little bit, and then do the hardest one, and then restart.
Thing is, like, the hardest difficulty, they add different moves to the enemies.
So it's different.
Yeah, so if I was mastering just the one on the easy one, I'd go to like the one above, and then it would have like an extra move that I'm not counting on, and that could mess it up.
It's just harder.
Yeah.
Cheeky little buggers, aren't they?
They are cheeky.
Made that. Well, Devil May Cry 4, which came off the PS4, again was one of the hardest Platinum trophies.
It was.
It was like 400 hours, the same sort of deal. I love Devil May Cry though. I haven't played Devil May Cry 5 yet, and pretty much because of the trophy list, but I think I am going to pick it up eventually and just play it on another account, because I love Devil May Cry 4.
It's worth playing. It really is.
I will play it at some point. Then what about Hollow Knight then?
Hollow Knight.
Have you started that yet?
I've not started it yet. I'm dreading it. I'm thinking
it's going to be hard to go from Devil May Cry 5 to then go to Hollow Knight. You're going to need some break in between, I think.
You think?
Probably like a couple of months break, because you'll be so fatigued, your brain will be so tired. You're starting from scratch again. I don't think Hollow Knight's anywhere near as hard though.
I've heard it's harder.
Can't be.
I heard it's harder because of one trophy. I think there's one trophy that you have to do. I think it's like a Colosseum thing, and you have to basically beat like 10 bosses in a row without dying. So I think that's what makes it harder. But I'm not sure. It's a completely different sort of play style. You know, it's like I'm not good at like Metroidvania games. I never have been, so it's like, again, that's another challenge, because I have to get used to that sort of gameplay.
People will keep asking me to play it in my comments, and I feel like it's a meme like not a meme. It's like people want me to do it, so I can't finish it. That's generally what I feel like. I feel like people are like, oh yeah, try this game. It'll be fun to watch you play it. And you know I can't play it. You know I can't do it. That's why you want to watch us crash and burn and ruin my percentage.
You should do.
I'm just a little bit paranoid. You
should do it on another account.
And pretend it's on this account and be like, oh yeah, really trying to joke's on you. Actually, in fact, it was on the other account this whole time. It's a great idea. Pencil, write that down. Okay, right, okay. There's some good goals, mate. So have you not got any like number goals this year?
I do. It's to reach 100 platinums.
I'm on about 78 at the minute, aren't you?
I'm on 86. 86. It's like a lot of people say, oh, that's pretty easy. But the thing is, like, I don't think a lot of people realise how much time YouTube takes away from you. And
yes, it does.
Unlucky for me, I'm not working from home yet, so I still have to do like 40 hours a week away from my house, away from my setup, which is a shame. I have thought of retiring early, but my missus won't let me.
Yeah, it's not quite there yet. I'm going back soon, to be fair, so I'll be feeling your pain again.
Yeah.
You know what? Like 13 platinums is quite good in a year. Like I know I play a lot of platinum. My goal was I want to get a 500, and I'm on like 368 or something. So I set a goal of 130. But realistically, of those games, I'll probably only play 10 to 15 AAA games.
Yeah.
So it's like it's pretty much the same goal as usual. Very similar to what you're going to be achieving. I just spend 10 hours a month playing easy games as well.
On the grubby ones.
On the grubby ones. But that shows how fast like you can grow the amount of trophies if you just spend a little bit of time playing the grubby platinum. It's not for everybody, but I enjoy seeing the numbers.
It also shows like the two sort of tiers of platinum hunting. Like you're very obsessed with like having your 100% completion.
Oh yes.
On the other hand, I don't really care about the 100%. I think my percentage is on like 78 or something. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. But
everyone in the comments is judging me.
But I think once I get the platinum, that's it. Like I've myself, I think I've achieved what I wanted to achieve from that games, and then I move on. So, having the grubby games, you have to play them in order to keep your percentage at that level, because all you need to do is like start one game, then take a break from it, and that's it. That will damage your percentage straight away, because you're instantly like on 1% on one game, and your percentage could go down like what, 2%, 3%.
Every time I start a new game, I go down by about 0.5% of a percentage. So I go from like 98.8 to 98.3 at the minute. So that's why, which is why I finished Crash Bandicoot Warped. So I had 13 games on my account that I haven't finished. One was Crash 1 and one was Crash 3 at about 25%.
Okay.
And I finished Crash Bandicoot from 25% to 100%, and my platinum percentage went up by about 0.5%.
Okay.
So that's why it's really important. I will say when I do my trophy list review videos that if you want to increase your completion percentage, the best thing to do is to pick a couple of games that you've already got on your list and just finish those. To do maybe a new game, then go back to a couple of backlogs and do it that way.
Yeah.
You save money, firstly, which is really good because you're going back and playing games you already have, and secondly, you increase your completion percentage a lot more significantly than if you buy a new game.
Yeah.
So advice to you.
Is there a game on your list that is going to be forever blocking you from your 100%?
Yes, I played FIFA 14, which is unobtainable.
Oh no.
Yeah. It was back in the days when I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was like, I was on a plane and I was like, I've got this Vita, I've got no games. All I had was FIFA, and I thought I'm just gonna play it because I was on like a 7-hour flight. I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and do nothing.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm not really that bothered. Like, no, it's I was thinking about people like say, oh, you could start a new account or something. I just don't care that much. Like, it's a your trophy list, a journey.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be like this forever. There's people like, I might one day get 99.5%, but it's it is what it is. I'm not gonna
dwell too much on it. That was going to be my next question, actually. Would you like create another list just to get that constant 100%? And sometimes I think about it because I do have like quite a few unfinished games on my list, but it's just all the hard work of the platinums I've had so far would just be cancelled out because I'd have to start from scratch.
I've got games on my list that I love, but I just couldn't go back and play again.
Yeah.
I guess I could play Spider-Man again, but there's a lot of good games on that I would love to play again and platinum again, but things like Borderlands 2, I enjoyed it. It's a great series, but it was 200 hours. I don't think I could stomach it again.
Yeah.
Because there's other Borderlands games I want to play Borderlands 3, and I was like, well, I can't go back and play Borderlands 2 if I want to play Borderlands 3, and that's the example, like Dragon Quest, which I loved.
Yeah.
Would I want to play it again? Probably. But to be fair, if I want to play it again, I might get Dragon Quest is it S?
The special one they sort of you're going to play it again?
And maybe, who knows? Maybe
I commend you if you do.
It's a great game.
It is a great game.
And they've changed the trophy list.
It's so long.
Yeah, but they've changed some of the trophies. They've removed some of the grindy trophies, so I think it's like maybe 20 hours less. You still got to do all the accolades, get all the mini medals and stuff, and the suit, and the costumes, but I love that game so much. I was thinking about my top 10 games on PS4, and I think Dragon Quest 11 is in my top 10. Probably my top 8, maybe top 7. Loved it so much. Such a good game.
I'd say probably top 15 for me.
Oh, well, still a good game.
It's a very good game. I still recommend it to everyone. It's just I think at the time I was playing more than just Dragon Quest, and I got to the point where I just wanted to finish it. And then when you get to that, you get to a lot of points of the game where you think, right, this is it, this is the end. And then there's more. There's always
when
more.
You get to the actual end, there's about 30 hours left.
Yeah, twist.
It's crazy. Twist, 30 more hours. But I loved it, so I can't really complain. So my goals for this year, which I made a video on, I encourage you to go watch, is firstly I want to get 500 platinums. I want to get a completion rate of 99%. I'm on 98.8% now, so I'm pretty close. I picked 4 games I wanted to play and finish. Crash Bandicoot Warped, I've done. Am I going to do a review of it? I don't know, maybe. I think that I'm going to say it now quickly because I don't want to say too much if I'm going to do a review, but I don't think Crash Bandicoot's that good. Sorry. For those who are watching it and love it. I think it's overrated. And I think people get nostalgia fogs their brain. And they buy these games, and I just don't think it's that good. It's not a bad game. It's a 7 out of 10.
It was good for when it came out, I think.
Yeah, that's it. It was good for its time. I think it's quite a short game. If you don't go for the trials, it's about 6 hours.
Yeah.
Plus Crash 3. But the thing is, though, you buy a pack of 3. If each one's 6-7 hours long, you're getting 25 hours. You are pretty much getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
But as a game by itself, it's not that long. It's actually, and again, I actually didn't find the trials too hard. So for someone who says that he's not very good at platformers, which I'm not, I would give this game a 5 out of 10. I would say out of 30 levels, I did about 20 of them first time.
That flex.
That flex. But my point is that it's actually not that hard. Like most people, by the time you finish Crash Bandicoot, you pretty much you'll fail. For example, you'll fail on one level like 100 times, but you learn so much on that one level that the rest of the levels are easy. So there's probably 5 levels which are really hard. But once you've done a couple of them, you're so good at the game that the easy ones, you're an actual cakewalk. So especially when you master the slide and jump and spin, like it's pretty much like that's. I know Crash Bandicoot 1 doesn't have it in Crash. I'm not sure about Crash 2, but you can basically run faster and slide and jump and spin. And it basically means you can like vault over massive sections if you know where to go.
Right.
Like it changes the way. It basically allows you to maybe avoid 10% of all enemies in the game.
And when you're sliding, if you slide and you hit an enemy, do you die or do you kill the enemy?
No, it depends on the enemy. Sometimes you kill them, sometimes you won't. But you can basically slide, do a big jump over them, and then do crash a spin. You'll just keep going.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a lot of, obviously the landing mechanics are a lot better as well. Like I don't know about Crash 1, but on Crash 3 you can see your shadow. So although Crash 4's added like the little ring, on Crash Bandicoot 3 you can see where you're going to land. When I found that Crash Bandicoot, that was the struggle I had with it. Is I just felt like I could never know where I was going to land.
Yeah.
But we're talking 2 years ago. But I've done it.
Well done.
It's a good introduction to the story. I think it's definitely the easiest one. Like, let's be honest, Crash Bandicoot 3, I've looked at the guides, it's about 5 out of 10. Crash 2 and 1 are about an 8.
Yeah.
So it's a big jump from Crash 2 and 1. My point is, I think I am going to finish all 3 of them. I don't just want to do 1 and 3. Like, that seems like a bit of a waste, so I will go back. I think I'm going to do Crash 2 next. Maybe the end of this year, maybe the start of next year. We'll see.
So have you started those games in your account or not yet?
Crash Bandicoot 1 has been started, so it's like ruining my percentage. But it's so hard. It's the hardest one. I think.
Believe me, I think I've got to.
I'm happy to.
I think I got to like level. I can't remember what level it was. I think it was still on the first section, and it was just a level that it had like a load of like little flaming platforms, and I gave up on that one. I think it's like level 6 or 7.
The famous level is High Roads, and that's the one I actually got stuck on. It's basically like just a long wooden bridge. We jump from the bridge to bridge. And that's really hard, so I think that's the one I struggled with the most.
Can't you walk on the ropes?
Yeah, but it's just as hard though. Landing on the ropes can be just as difficult at times. Yeah, so it's 6 and 2 threes.
Either or.
But anyway, we'll move on from Crash because if I review it, I'll save some of my opinions for then. I pretty much said the main opinions, but I also want to play Darksiders War Mastered, which is like a 360 game, PS3 game, very old school hack and slash. Like, you unlock skills which unlock certain doors and you progress that way. A lot like Fallen Order. And that's been a game that some of my friends are obsessed with and they keep telling me to play. Like, play Darksiders 1, 2, 3 and Genesis are all good games. So I said, you know what? Yes, I've got all 3 of them on my account. So I'm going to play it this year.
I enjoyed 1 and 3. 2, not so much.
I've heard 2 is definitely the worst of the 3.
Yeah, it's kind of like Marmite. A lot of people love it. And then a lot of people hate it. I'm one of the people that hates it. Like, it dwells a bit too much into the RPG element,
yes,
I think.
That's exactly what I was told. That's exactly what I was told.
And it makes the game a little bit harder than the other 2. But one is probably, in my opinion, the best one.
All right, okay. Well, I'm going to play it. It's basically, the 4 games I've picked, 2 are pretty easy and 2 are really hard.
Yeah. So
I'll save the last one that you're going to want to talk about the most till the end.
Yeah.
So my third game is Yakuza 0. 150-hour platinum. You basically have to do a playthrough, getting all the missable trophies, doing all the exploration, doing all the mini games, all the side quests, and then you have to do a challenge mode, which is really, really hard, and then you have to play the game on Legendary, which is basically, according to PSN profiles, a 7 out of 10. So to me, it's a 9 out of 10. I always add 2.
Yeah.
Getting some respectful plats, guys, so when Joe reviews my trophy list on his new series, I can get some more points.
That's impressive because you're kind of diving like into a rabbit hole. Like, are you gonna think? You're gonna? I reckon once you do the Yakuza 0, you're gonna want to do all the other ones, and that's such a commitment because there's so many of them.
Apparently, Yakuza 0, 1, and 2 are really hard.
Okay.
4, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all easier, like 6 out of 10s. But 0, 1, and 2 are like 7 to 8 out of 10s. And then Yakuza 7 I'm not sure about. So my plan is to maybe try and play a Yakuza game every year now. So maybe Kiwami next year, Kiwami 2 the year after. Then maybe Judgment. I do want to play Judgment, looks really good.
Judgment, that's a
spin-off. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, it's a spin-off. Yeah. I think it's one of the only English dubbed ones.
Okay.
So that's what I'm planning going forward. because I do want to get in it. You know, it's an acclaimed series that a lot of people miss out on. It's my opinion. I'm not sure yet.
I've missed out on it. Just for the intimidation of how many there are, and the intimidation of like how hard they are as well. Like even though the later games are easier, it doesn't make them easy. You know, it just makes them easier than the first ones. And it's just it's quite intimidating to me to like go on to like, what is it, like 8 games now, 9 games of just pure.
There's Yakuza 1 to 7. 0 to 7, so it's 8 plus Judgment.
8 games plus Judgment. So yeah, so 9. And then plus the Dragon one. There's a new one now, isn't there?
No, that's 7. That's classed as Yakuza 7 though.
Oh, okay.
I think it's called Yakuza 7 in Japan. I think it's just called Yakuza Like a Dragon here, but it's Yakuza 7.
So like 8 games of just, oh man.
That's why Yakuza 0 was so good though. It was like a new entry level. Like, you know, people. That's what everyone thought. You know, like everyone was like 2015ish. Yakuza's got 5 games. I can't jump in. But now they brought Yakuza 0 to say, look, you can come to our franchise. It's amazing. It's one of Sega's only franchises. I think it is Sega, isn't it? I think it's Sega.
I think it's Sega. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sega.
To think they were making
consoles
so 50 years ago. I know.
I miss how good Sega was.
I do. But then again, Yakuza could, if a company's only got one franchise and it's amazing, that's still something to be proud of.
That's fair.
Because, you know, it's like, it's a really good series that is different to a lot of mainstream in this country. So respect where respect is due.
Like The Witcher.
Now, like The Witcher, but it's been soured slightly by certain things of late, which we'll talk about in a minute. We're already on 45 minutes, Joel. So
I know.
We're chatting. We've just missed each other's voices so much.
It's been a long time.
It has. It's been too long.
It's just 1 month of just repressed podcasts inside.
Podcasting. Just so much chin wagging you wanted to do.
Yeah.
The final game is Bloodborne. Oh. The legendary. My first Soulsborne experience will be Bloodborne.
Yes.
8 out of 10.
You get a platinum.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt. There's no way I will not be finishing this game. There's no way I won't be finishing any of those games.
Now the big question is, co-op or single player?
For Bloodborne?
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was co-op, so...
You could do co-op.
I didn't realise there was co-op.
Yeah, you could do co-op.
What, can people help you?
Yeah.
Oh, right, well, in that case, Joel, you're going to help us all.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was waiting. Dude, I can't wait to play Bloodborne with you. It's still quite hard, but it does make it considerably easier.
What I'll do is, I'm going to wait until I get my capture card, I think, so I can then do some live streaming and do some better capturing of the footage, or at least till I get my PS5, at least one or the other.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do a bit of recording. I'm going to do the first 5 to 10 hours by myself, regardless.
Yeah.
I might just play till I get stuck, and I might just come help me out a little bit.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. You should experience it on your own first. You should.
I plan. I plan going through the struggles, the pain.
Yes.
But the lessons, the improvement, the self-development that this game can take you on.
I'm so
you live,
excited.
you laugh, you cry.
I hope your journey is like mine, and it's like I sucked for ages. Like I didn't actually start getting good at Bloodborne until I'd say the 6th boss. I just
were you going to quit at all? Does that ever cross your mind?
I rage quit for 8 months. On my second boss, wow. I rage quit for 8 months. The second boss is what a lot of people say. It's going to teach you how to play Bloodborne. And it's one of the biggest walls in the game. I found the second boss one of the hardest bosses in the base game. Actually, the second boss for me was the hardest boss in the game. Did you in the end did you watch any guides or anything to overcome it, or did you just keep doing it? I rage quit after I watched 4 guides and I still couldn't do it.
Oh my god.
The guy is brutal. I'm not even going to tell you who his name is. I'm just going to say, because it's actually a catch. It can either be your first boss or he can be your second boss. Depends on what path you take. So you can either find him as a first boss or a second boss.
Welcome to Bloodborne. Welcome to Bloodborne.
Welcome to Bloodborne, indeed. And wow. It basically shows you how to play the game, and it's a hell of a lesson. It's a hell of a lesson. I can't wait for you to play it. I'm so excited. A
very lesson of grounding someone, humbling you as a gamer.
Yeah.
Making you cry is the real word, but I just want to be a bit more sophisticated about it. Well, look, I'm a completionist. I will just try my best to get through it. I think it's going to be a real test of my ability.
I think so.
But I've got it. It's over there. I don't plan on giving up. I think it's probably going to be the upper tier of my ability. But also with games, I think when I played PlayStation VR World, which is quite people forget now, it's actually a really hard platinum trophy. And what I found was, I didn't think about it as grinding as a trophy. What I thought was, okay, I'm stuck on something. I'm now going to train. I'm going to practice to be good at this, because practice makes perfect. And so say, rather than get frustrated that I can't do something for 6 hours, I'm going to say, you know what, I have no intention of doing it for the next 6 hours. I'm going to keep doing it until I get good enough to then do it.
That's good.
And I think like that's just a really good mindset to be in. I think, you know, it's to think of games, trophy hunting, as skills that you acquire, not as being frustrated because you can't do something. It's about thinking, well, I can't do it now. How do I do it? What do I need to do? Do I just need to die 100 times so I understand the movement patterns of certain animals, monsters, bosses? Do I need to make sure I'm doing everything optimally? Do I need to do a bit of research to make sure my movement pattern's right, I'm using the right weapons, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually it clicks, right? So I'm hoping.
No, it will. And the thing is, like, with me, it clicked just like that. Like, I was one day I was just like awful at the game, just dying over and over again, and then the next day, I don't know, I just kind of understood how the game worked. For some reason, it's like you start understanding how to parry, you start understanding how to use certain weapons. Like the rolling, I think, is the hardest thing to understand, because
the evading.
A lot of people think you have to roll away from enemies, and like the thing is, because you've never played any Dark Souls or any Souls games, there's invincibility frames, and it's when you're performing a roll, after a certain point in the roll, you become invincible. So even if an enemy hits you or go through you, because in those frames, you're invincible. I'm not going to say any more because I'm kind of like I'm training you already, and I want you to sort of like learn for yourself, because you're going to love the game. I promise you, you're going to love myself.
Okay. What we'll do is, I'm excited to play it. We're on like 50 minutes, so we'll move on to our gaming news section. I feel like we can't not talk about this.
No, we can't.
And basically, we're late at the party. We've arrived. You know, the party happened 5 days ago. We're still locked up and been like, oh, it's a party started. And everyone's like, no, the party's finished, you fool. Go away. We're dressed in our suits and ready to go. Yeah, everyone's hungover. You know, and we're just like, all right, okay, well, what do we do now? We'll just have our own party. Yeah. So we're going to have our belated Lolz session of Cyberpunk. It's really funny because, in particular, in our last podcast, our second last Game of the Year generation, I said we will not class Cyberpunk as Game of the Year because it came out 4 days before the podcast aired, so we didn't have a chance to play it. And I was talking about, you know, we were all talking, gleeful eyes, hope in our eyes and our souls, about how this game was going to change the world. It did. It did. Horrendously, for the worst. It was an absolute shambles. You know what, guys? You've definitely read about this. You know, people have been lolling about it. There's memes on it. But we'll just give you our 2 cents. So let's just... Joel, what are you thinking?
Just what a mess. What a mess. I think what hit people the most was that it was CD Projekt Red. I think if it was maybe any other company, maybe not any other company, but another company, I don't think people would have felt so betrayed. But because CD Projekt Red, go on.
It was like if Ubisoft did it, you wouldn't be that surprised. No. If Square Enix did it now, you probably wouldn't be that surprised. If Bethesda did it, you'd be like, oh well, classic.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, I wrote a little analogy down, which I found was very, very funny, but I have to get it up quickly. We always thought, right, okay, EA and Ubisoft were the worst companies, basically in terms of monetization, in terms of the way they handle games, you know, their launches, empty games, blah, blah. And realistically, EA and Ubisoft were basically just Count Dooku and General Grievous of the Clone Wars. Like, we basically thought they were the evil, we thought they were leading everything. Then in the very end, they executed Order 2077, and CD Projekt Red revealed themselves to be the Sith Lord, Darth Sidious themselves, and actually just they've duped us all. And they've just betrayed us all. And that is my opinion of CD Projekt Red.
I think that's perfect, because everybody loved Anakin, and then boom,
gone. Cut off the hand of Mace Windu, killing kids.
Oh my god! It's just like I have to laugh, because I'm one of those people that weren't really hyped for it. First of all, because it's a first-person game. I'm not really into first-person games, and second, I'd already sort of not expected, but I already thought this is coming out before the next gen consoles. I think they were going to concentrate more for it being ready for the next gen rather than the current gen, because it's just the way it is. Like, as a developer, as a business, you have to think of it now as a business. You have to plan for the future rather than the present. You have to plan for something that's going to last a long time. And so I didn't really get all the hype.
Well,
but I didn't expect it to be so bad as what it was.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I think there's two things on what you just said there. Firstly, I've always been a firm believer that cross-generational games don't really work. You know, if you've got a Ferrari and you've got a Ford Fiesta and you try and build an engine for both of them, obviously both of them aren't going to run optimally.
That's
an extreme.
On that, what do you think then of God of War? Apparently that's going to be cross-platform. Apparently,
I mean, I know Sony will handle it better, but I would prefer there to be just on PlayStation 5. Like, I just think you're limiting what the game can be by creating it on an inferior machine. And that is my opinion. So I wasn't against it. I wasn't for that. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it was never going to be an amazing, groundbreaking game, but it doesn't look that good on Xbox One Series X. I've seen it. It looks good. It looks sharp. But you just always wonder, like, you know, could it have been better if they just spent all the time on the next gen? But it affects the sales, and all they care about is money. Unfortunately, a lot of the big companies. Now, on that as well, I didn't pre-order Cyberpunk. I'm the same. I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters, but I thought it was going to be a great game. Now, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be the Messiah. A lot thought people were going to think it was going to be GTA 5 combined with The Witcher, combined with amazing first-person shooters. And, you know, if you promise someone the world and you don't like monitor expectations, that can really come back to shoot you in the foot. Look at No Man's Sky. That game was a bit broken, but also they promised the world. They actually promised things that weren't in the game. Cyberpunk have done that as well. CD Projekt Red have done that as well. But I was not expecting it to come out in the state that it's come out. This game was totally broken, and you know what? I've seen somebody say that if you comment in, "Oh, it works well for me," it's like, that doesn't matter. Just because it worked well for you, it's not working well for the majority of people. Exactly. And it's not just the glitches. So this game is horrendously buggy. There's no, you know, it's like things like people floating through the sky, people's faces falling off.
But even the movements though, and even like the small details. Like I've been seeing like a few comparisons with like other games, and like Red Dead Redemption came out in what, 2018?
2018. Yeah.
So it's common. Okay, 2 years old. Like came out at the end of the year, but like the details, for example, of somebody eating a meal. Like in Red Dead 2, you can literally see like the food sort of going down gradually as they're eating the food. With Cyberpunk, they're just doing the movement and not even that well, and the food is still like the same. That's like it's just
unpolished.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's very unpolished. But you know, you're right. It's not like, this is the thing a lot of people who are defending Cyberpunk are failing to realise. And it's like, it's not just the graphical issues. It's the core, like the AI, for example.
Yeah.
They don't flank properly. You know, they don't respond properly. They get stuck. It's not immersion creating, it's immersion shattering all the time, because it's reacting like a video game. You know, Red Dead 2, most of the time, you can get so lost in the game, you feel like you're in a world, you're not playing a video game.
That's true.
Because of how the AI reacts and how you respond to the world. Cyberpunk, it's clearly a video game all the time. You can tell, you know, the way they move and stuff, it's not working, it doesn't work. And honestly, the car stuff, you call your car and it like shoots out through the pavement, and like, it's just like, and you're getting like skidding all over the place, like you're getting all this crazy pop in, you're getting the police after you, and you just turn a corner and they're gone. You'll run over 12 pedestrians, nothing will happen, and you'll like bump on a curb and you got like cops chasing you, and it's just like, it's lunacy is what it is. And the problem is, this game needed longer, and I feel sorry for the devs, because devs love games. They've obviously said and pleaded that this game wasn't finished. This game needed like another 2 years.
Yeah.
It just wasn't ready. And it's the fact that not only are the game's broken and glitchy, there's talks of basically large sections of the game being cut out to get it finished. So missions being missed, side content, large portions of the game not being in it. So it's like, imagine if you weren't going to get like, I don't know, something in The Witcher 3. Like if you didn't get that story about the aborted child. Imagine if that just wasn't in there.
Yeah.
Like key, like amazing side content that just wasn't in there. It's just not on. And as well, they knew the game was broken because they refused to give out console copies. They only give out PC copies.
Yeah.
on purpose, and they had an embargo saying you couldn't use any of your own footage because of the glitchings, and it was just an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. It was like they actively. The thing is, we say like, you know, Ubisoft can be a bad company, but you know what? They give out review copies to everybody. They give out review copies to people who actively slate them. Yeah. So it's like they're not. At least they've got some good practices. Whereas like CD Projekt Red, they knew that the ship was sinking, and rather than reveal it, they just kept it behind a big picture.
I think Ubisoft at this point have kind of like embraced what they are. Yeah. Like they know they're not going to change. Gamers know they're not going to change. There's going to be a huge amount of like fan base that will love their games, and there are, which is fine. You know, each to their own. But they don't. You know, when an Ubisoft game comes out, you know it's going to be copy paste, and they know it's going to be copy paste, and they don't. You know, they don't sell it as anything else. While Cyberpunk, it sold it as something that obviously was not what people got. It was just so backwards, and I think again, like what hit people the most is who did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they did such a great job with The Witcher 3. Yes, The Witcher 3 came out with bugs in the beginning, but they sorted them out, and not just that.
Not of this caliber either.
Sorry?
Not of this caliber of bugs.
No, not of this caliber. Not of this caliber. And even when they like announced the game you got was what was announced. Whilst in this one, it wasn't. It was just a mess.
And they just worked so hard to conceal the image, to hide the fact that it isn't the game people wanted. And as well, I want to touch on this because a lot of people won't know this. So there's a YouTuber called Dreamcast Guy. He's got like 200,000 subs. He's quite big. Most people have probably heard of him. Basically, there's an embargo which meant to say you couldn't release the review for the Friday. So if you were given a review copy, you couldn't release a review till the Friday. So he got the game early in the post. It came like 4 days early. That was the fault of the supplier. So he did a review, and he reviewed the console. He reviewed the console game, and he released it on the Thursday, which was the day before release date. And they basically took down the video and threatened legal action because they said he was breaching the embargo, but he didn't get a review copy, so he wasn't.
Yeah.
And the review he gave was up for about half an hour, so I didn't watch it. And he was talking about the bugs in the console edition, and pretty much like they just quieted somebody who should he have done it? Should he not have done it? The game wasn't out yet. He was doing it. Maybe, who knows? But the point is, they were so fierce on it. They threatened some person with like serious legal action just to sort of maintain the illusion for another day, which is crazy. It was a day early.
I agree with that. I think I just don't know what they were thinking. I'm still a bit in shock as to like why did they not in their heads like plan this ahead? Like did they not think that it would get to this point? I mean, I can't remember the last time that a game got taken from stores. And,
that's the next point.
And people getting refunded or something
I think that's only happened a couple of times in PlayStation 4 history. I think you know what it must have been. It must have been an extreme amount of denial as to what was going on from the the CEOs. Yeah. They must have they've been told this game's not ready, it's not ready, and they're like, developers always say that. We'll be fine. Just release it. We've got 9 million pre-orders. We're gonna make like almost $50 million on the day of it's released. We're gonna release it. So, all right, okay. Well, now everyone's refunded it, and we've lost probably
patches.
And then Sony basically people want refunds, and you know what? Sony are really hard on refunds. It's really hard to get a refund on a game, which I think is absolutely appalling. It's not the way the market should be. Us as consumers have so little power against games. And you know what? Yeah, you could say, well, Cyberpunk, we got a refund. We all got a refund. But you know what? Right? There's been games that have come out this year, last year even, which were not up to standard. Particularly games like Avengers, which just weren't the game you were promised. You basically flat out lied to what the game was, and you know it's too bad, tough shit. Yeah. You bought it now. Doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter. We're a big company. You can't get your money back, and I think that's totally wrong. I think it's disgraceful. I think we should all be allowed within like a couple of hours to refund a game if we don't like it.
Steam,
if it's not,
Steam
at least if it's not what we're offered. Yeah, Steam do exactly.
Steam are so
Those
good
patches
to do that.
should come over here.
Yeah.
So. But also, anyway, the point is that Sony have been getting so many refunds, and I think there's talks of Cyberpunk being sued by a lot of different people, different companies,
I'm not
and
surprised.
PlayStation have basically just went, you know what, right? We're getting so much heat for this, we're taking it off the market. And Microsoft didn't, but they basically put a massive warning on if you go to buy the game saying this game is not finished. And then Cyberpunk released this really salty tweet being like, oh yeah, well, if you want, you can have a refund, but if you want to stay with us and wait another 3 months for the patch, it'll be great. It's just if you don't want to wait for a patch, you can get a refund. It's like, well, hold on. So you're saying that you can sell an unfinished game and then be salty with us and say that if we can't wait another almost like, well, just on release date, almost 4 months for the patches. Like, are you actually crazy? Like, there's no way you go to a restaurant and they go, oh, can I have the steak, please? And they go, well, yeah, no, you go to McDonald's and they go, can I have a Big Mac? And they go, okay, here's your money. Well, it's not going to be ready for 3 weeks, so if you could just wait, I'll give you a refund if you want, but or if you're happy just to wait 3 weeks, I'll give you your food.
Yeah.
What? Like, of course I don't want to wait 3 weeks for a meal. I want it now. I paid for it now.
Exactly.
Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, it's been handled so poorly.
I don't know. Like, you start to think what's going to be the future of CD Projekt Red. Like, it's going to be so hard to now trust them. You know,
well, was Witcher? No, go on.
And it's always going to come back to that statement a couple of years ago: never pre-order.
Yes.
And this is again another lesson to never.
Just don't, guys. Don't pre-order, man. Seriously, like, I just don't understand. Like, I have close friends who pre-ordered the day before, and it's like, so they can download it at midnight. It's like, you're not playing it the day after. Like, that's a very mild version of it. But guys, you're supporting companies again. You know what? I'm all for supporting little developers, AA companies, because they're not the same. It's as soon as a company goes in the stock market is when they don't care about the games as much anymore. They honestly don't. Everyone cares about money. Unfortunately, in this very extreme capitalist West of ours, but it's like as soon as they start taking their pre-orders, they know they've got the money coming in. It just shows it just doesn't work. It's not up to scratch. If those 9 million people hadn't pre-ordered it and the reviews came out and everyone thought, hold on, this isn't the game we thought.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, you know what? Maybe a lot of people got their money back. And I would encourage everybody, to be getting your money back, because you know what? You can buy the game again, but you're standing against this sort of absolute disgraceful, unethical, corrupt way of releasing games.
Yeah.
And if we can the only way we can affect companies is by voting with our wallet and by not giving them the money that they so desperately crave. So I think, guys, just get your refunds and buy it later on, because I am going to buy it.
Yeah,
I am going to support it. Like, when I get my PS5, I'm not saying don't support it. I'm saying in 6 months' time, when it's a better game, when it's not 4 out of 10, when it's back to its 7, 8 out of 10, where it probably is going to be, then you can buy it. But just
I was, it's funny because I had this conversation with a good friend of mine, and he was like super hyped for this game ever since like that. What was it? They tweeted like a heartbeat thing on their Cyberpunk Twitter, and like as soon as that happened, like he was like super hyped straight away. As soon as like it was available for pre-order, he pre-ordered it, and I always said to him, I said, "This is gonna flop. Like this is it's such a huge leap for gaming."
Yeah,
because although the map isn't as big as The Witcher, like apparently you could like go into most buildings. You had like the levels, you could go up levels rather than
that's
being
what it
like
said.
a plane.
You couldn't, but that's what.
And I was like, it's a lot. So much detail has to go into everything, and like running a game like that on this gen is almost.
Just to clarify.
Go on.
Yeah, no, go on. No, what you can say.
I was just going to say it's going to be almost impossible. Like I put Ghost of Tsushima in my PS4 Pro, and when it gets to like quite a few enemies on the map, it feels like it's going to blow up.
Yeah,
and a game like that, and a game like Cyberpunk is going to have so many more details, like of these, like lights, people walking, people having like Ghost of Tsushima. Although it's a great game, it's mostly empty. Like you have a lot of fields, and there's not a lot going on. There's patches of like villages here and there, but there's not a lot going on most of the time. Cyberpunk is completely different. It's literally a city, like people walking, cars, lights, noises, like it's so much going on, and like to run that on this gen, it meant to be. Yeah,
that's the thing as well. There's areas with like 50 NPCs and there's areas with like 2, and it seemed like the comparisons to what the trailers were. You know, like when Watch Dogs came out, everyone was like, "Oh wow, this has been downscaled." It's like this is like next level downscaling.
Yeah, and
I think you're right. I think what they promised was never achievable on the PlayStation 4.
No,
we're talking like 8-year content, 8-year-old console now. Last of Us Part 2, one of the most demanding games. Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead 2, Ghost of Tsushima, probably some of the most demanding games on last generation now. And those games at times struggled.
Yeah.
Not because of the game, because of the machine. Yeah. So to you to say you can deliver even more. And do you know what the thing about Last of Us 2 was? It looked beautiful, had a lot of in-depth level design, but they were still quite closed. Yeah. And that's because of the limits of the machines and the technology and stuff. So for Cyberpunk to promise that times 2, it's sometimes you think people have to manage their own expectations as to what they're actually going to get.
It's silly. It's just so basic. Like it's like, all right, so this is a cup of tea. This is all this cup can hold, but I want to make 2 cups of tea. It's not going to work. It's just it's basic things. Like you can't push something over the limit if it's not going to take it.
This Amazing Spyro mug is about 300 mils. What if I told you there's actually 600 mils in this cup?
But try and sell it. Try and sell it like that.
There's 600 mils in this cup.
Try and sell it, but only you can only showcase the cup like that.
You only showcase this much of the cup.
This
is the cup. This is Cyberpunk. This is actually a mug. This could be anything. This could be 300 mils. This could be a ton, 1,000 litres. You should buy it, pre-order it.
Buy it now.
£50.
And it's just, I'm just baffled as like how they still carried on with it after release. Like No Man's Sky was an absolute disaster, but fair play to them. They apologized straight away. And you play No Man's Sky now, and it's incredible. It is exactly what they promised and more.
Yeah.
But they apologized as soon as it happened. Like Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red, they just carried it on, and they became offended that people were so it's so bad, and it was like offended by it. It was like you didn't give people what they wanted, what they were expecting.
I watch a lot of not loads. I watch quite a bit of sport, football, soccer in the US and stuff, and
football.
So because of that, I see a lot of it's the only time I see adverts. Is my point. And mid half time, I was seeing Cyberpunk adverts at probably about just before Christmas, like 23rd, 24th. And I was saying to my partner, I was like, "This game's broken." This has shown that they just don't care. That they just want to push the sales. Yeah, you know what? There's some people on Twitter complaining about it, but as long as the vast majority of people don't know what's going on, we're going to keep trying to convince people to buy this game.
I think,
and it was like at this point as well, it'd already been pulled off PlayStation 4.
I think,
and they were still advertising.
I think also they milked Keanu Reeves so much.
Oh yeah,
they milked that so much because everybody loves Keanu Reeves. Like he's the nicest guy on the planet, and like
he is. He's awesome.
He probably was one of the main things that sold the game. Is like he was going to be in it, and he was going to be like one of the main characters. I think again that
I agree.
That maybe like put a bit of a blindfold on people because they just wanted to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
They did everything in the marketing book, and they delivered none of it. And I think it's just disastrous. I think
it's just I don't know how. I mean, this is the thing. Sometimes you think, oh, well, what happened to CD Projekt Red? What would I like to happen to CD Projekt Red personally? Off the top of my head, I'd probably like to see the company be completely dissolved and have all the developers work under a new branch, start their own company with a bit, maybe some of the shareholders, and have every single person above management gone.
Yeah,
because the devs, they've shown their potential to make great games.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, I personally would say that the same with every single big company, though. I mean, I would say the same with EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda. I would just eliminate them all personally and just have them smaller companies. Like, the worst thing that ever happened to BioWare was being bought by EA. Like, that's literally the worst thing that ever happened to them.
That's true.
Like, no, they did Dragon Age Origins. It was absolutely phenomenal. Dragon Age 2 was half the game Dragon Age Origins was in terms of depth, in terms of length. You played the same 6 dungeons about 50 times. Dragon Age 3 was a little bit better, but still unfinished, unclean, messy, and then Mass Effect Andromeda. Like, you know, it just shows that when these big companies come in, they just a lot of time they
just grab something that's so good and they just ruin it by rushing it.
Yeah,
because they just want the money in. Like, and what they don't realize is if you don't deliver people what they want, you're not going to get the money in anyway. Or you are going to get the money in, but you're going to get a bad name, and people are just going to stop buying it.
We say that, but then the stock of Ubisoft has gone up by almost double last year. Ubisoft's stock blew up last year, so it's like we're saying how bad these games are and stuff, which they are, but it actually hasn't affected Ubisoft's value. Like, you know, it's insane. Like, these companies just keep making average games and keep doing well off it. Cyberpunk, however, stock has tanked by half. So if you were to buy stocks just before The Witcher 3, they were about £4. They were now before Cyberpunk released worth £80 of stock. So you would have doubled. I think you would have time just stock by 20.
Jeez.
It's now went down to £40 per stock, which means that it's still worth 10 times the amount it was just before Witcher 3 came out, but it's half what it was before Cyberpunk came out. So who knows what direction they're going to go in. I generally think if they were to re-release it in 6 months' time, they've lost the audience. They've lost the respect of the developers. They've lost. I don't know if they can recover from it personally. I don't know. It's hard.
I think they probably will. I don't think people will forget about it. I think people are going to be a bit more weary, like in the future.
I don't think they'll ever get the hype we're going to get for Cyberpunk. For example, if they do Witcher 4 now, which realistically Witcher 4 has been signed on, might be happening. it's going to be shrouded in this confusion and this skepticism, which never would have been. Like guys, you know, you watch these episodes. If you're on episode 14 now, you'll know me and Joel pretty well. You've been listen to us just ramble for 14 hours if you watch these all, maybe more. We love Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Like, we love Witcher 3. I've read a couple of the books. I've watched the TV series.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite games of all time. It's in my probably top 3. Definitely top 5 games of all time. Probably top 3. Same with Joel. We love Witcher 3. And now to have one of the best games ever, be associated with CD Projekt Red is, for the first time ever, not a good thing.
No, it's kind of you just don't know what to expect anymore. Like before, if let's say Cyberpunk didn't happen, you knew what was going to come, you knew what you were going to get with Witcher. Now, is it going to be a mess again? Are they gonna like strive for more things and then just mess it up?
I mean, I feel like they probably won't because of, you know, basically their reputation is carried on The Witcher. Would like to think there'd be no more mistakes like this ever again. But the problem is, it's such a big betrayal. You know, you're not just missing certain things out. You've actually released an unfinished game. There's no way this game went through testing. Let's be honest. There's no way in hell.
Definitely not.
Because you can play this on PlayStation 4 and you will encounter a bug every 5 minutes. So for that to go through testing, these are the issues.
They just didn't have the time. They kept on like postponing it, and I think people are getting frustrated. Like, but why? I always think, why not postpone it a little bit over what you think it's going to take?
Yeah.
So you don't have to postpone it again, and you don't have to, annoy people. Because if you postpone like a game like 3 times, people are going to get annoyed. People are like, oh, again, and the hype does go down. Whilst if you give it quite a big gap, but only postpone it the once, I think people are going to take it a little bit better. Yeah, they're going to be annoyed, but they're going to be annoyed either way. It's something that's unexpected.
When they announced that, was it meant to come out in September? Or was it July initially?
September,
it was July, wasn't it?
No, was it? Yeah, it was September, then it went to November, and then it went to December.
If they just said in March, this game's not going to be ready, we're going to put it on a release time of April of 2021.
Yeah. It
would be annoying. But guys, I feel like, I don't know how everyone else thinks of this, but personally, I don't mind waiting. I would rather wait an entire year, maybe longer, for a game to be perfect. If someone told me Marvel Spider-Man 2 is coming out and it's got a 2-year game cycle, I would be annoyed. I'd be already starting to be a bit nervous. If someone told me you got to wait another year for a perfect Spider-Man sequel, I would wait. Because I don't want to have my experience tarnished.
Yeah. If it's worth the wait, then wait. Look, oh man, it just annoys me because, gaming is meant to be something that like everybody is looking forward to, a new game, like, and it's just become like all the companies are just letting everybody down, like one by one. All the companies, I'm just annoyed that like nowadays, instead of being like, all the companies are letting you down one by one, like EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda. It's just all of them, like even Square Enix with Marvel's Avengers, like every company that you mostly rely on to give you a great experience, they're all like letting you down.
Well, you know what I used to say, that originally it was Ubisoft, EA and Bethesda were the Three Musketeers. And then Square Enix came out of nowhere and joined, making it the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
I was thinking that.
Now it's expanding. You're getting more and more villains. Now we've got like CD Projekt Red have just revealed themselves to be the 5th member of this cult of terrible cash milking companies that just all they want is your money. They don't care about the game, the service they deliver.
It's just such a shame.
Is it the suggestion of the extremeness of our capital Western side and the progression of how extreme these things are getting? Who knows?
I think it's money. I think money is the root of it all.
It is.
They want it as quick as possible with as little effort as possible.
And we just want to play good games.
We just want good games.
That's all we want.
Not a lot to ask.
On that, what we'll do is we'll wrap it up. We'll be talking for an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. This will be back, it's our bi-weekly podcast. So episode 15 will be coming in 2 weeks today being the Tuesday, the 11th of December, potentially. I don't know. And so thank you all for watching. Don't forget to check out Joel's channel. He's linked in the description below. He's just started doing his an alternative trophy list review series, similar like mine, but totally different, because Joel is a more of a difficulty based player.
A weirdo.
So he likes to appreciate difficulty, so I appreciate it's definitely worth a watch to compare see how 2 different people who are in the trophy hunting community just review people's lists, because it's good to sort of see that like discussion So I'd recommend you go check that out. I'm going to be getting some new guests. So another goal I said, which I didn't mention, was I want to get 10 new guests on the podcast this year. So there's 25 more episodes for 2021. If you have any suggestions, put them down below. I'd love to hear who you want me to speak with, and I will try and approach them. I think that because the podcast is getting a little bit bigger, my channel's getting a little bit bigger, I can sort of approach slightly bigger channels now, which is great news for the channel, for you guys as viewers. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.